Now, before I start, I feel as if I should say that this video will have some what might be considered graphic imagery. If you're offended by this or surprised about any of this really, and thought that YouTube is just a place for good old-fashioned Christian content, then welcome to your first day on the internet. I'd recommend you stay away from Musical.ly and click off this video. And for anyone who's stuck past this cringy intro, let's begin. Now, I don't know how obvious it is, but the main goal is to get the girls on the right hand side completely naked or close enough to, which would be easy if they weren't so damn slow about it, because sometimes it can take up to 2 or even 3 turns to get one article of clothing off one of the girls. However, the closer you get to the last level, the more naked the girls will get, to the point of which the last girl is in her underwear already before you even start the level. Now, once you've completed the level, the next thing you're going to see is to do with this icon right here, and basically it will take you to a picture with the girl that's been on the right hand side corner, and she's going to be in a very, let's say, compromising position in this photo, and this is of all the girls on all the levels. I'm sure it would be great if you like that sort of thing, but thing is, personally, I take one look at it and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to the next level now, and that's it. Now, believe it or not, there is technically no nudity in the whole game, because they managed to keep it family friendly by taping over their and their nipples, but not their butts, because I would imagine it would look real weird having tape go down someone's butt crack, or maybe that's just me, I don't know. Now, I'm not too sure why they did this. I mean, I know why they didn't put it over the butt crack, because that would have looked weird, but I'm not too sure why they did the whole duct tape thing in general. Now, there is an age warning at the beginning of the game, but that isn't an official thing, so far as I can tell. That's something that the developers have just put in there to make clear that the game has boobage in it. I mean, it's not like Peggy's going to demand an age restriction to be put on the damn thing. So what's the point of putting the tape over everything anyway? Anyway, enough about things that don't really matter. Let's start talking about the gameplay. Okay, so the way that you win the game is by filling up the bar on the top part of the screen. As soon as the bar is full, then the level is over. The way you fill up these bars is by putting 2 blocks of the same number together. Then those 2 numbers will be added together to create a cube of that number. And this will keep happening until you add 2 cubes that have the worth of 64. And then they will disappear from the screen and be added to the bar at the top. But the thing is, whilst this might not sound fun from my horrible description of it, actually, there are times that I'll be so immersed that I'll stop looking at the game for a second and just turn my head and be like, oh, she's naked now. And then I'll just go back to the game like nothing ever happened. Now, there is no difficulty setting to the game, however, the game does get harder as it progresses throughout the levels. Now, the amount of levels has changed, because when I played it, there were 4, but when I opened it up recently to check a few things, it turned out that there were actually 2 new levels that had been added through updates, which is really good, because most developers would have put them up for sale as DLC as soon as they had the chance, which is something that I would expect from a game as cheap as this. As in my experience with reviewing games on this channel, the cheaper a game is, the least a developer is going to care about it. But in this case, maybe not. Now, I mentioned earlier that the game gets harder as it goes along. Now, the way that it does this is by having more features that will screw you over the more that you play. The worst one by far is the one that will delete certain blocks that have a certain value, and it's never the ones that you want gone or the ones that you wouldn't mind or notice if they went. No, it's the ones that you're completely buggered if they do go. The ones that you need at that very moment, and the only other of its kind is on the opposite side of the bloody cube. Now, there are, of course, other things in this game that will mess up your gameplay, but none of them are as completely devastating as this one, which will mess up your game if given the right chance. Right, where the hell do I start with this one? Okay, in terms of graphics, the characters on the right hand side look fine. I mean, they look like they've just been ripped out of an anime, so good job on that one, I guess, if that's what you were going for. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else to say about them, which is weird. In terms of music, there isn't much to it. I mean, it's the type of music that you would expect in a game like this, but on the other hand, the sound effects are something else, and by that I mean, because there's only one that's worth talking about, and if you've already played the game, you know which one I mean, and it's the one which is activated once you've taken an item of clothing off a girl, and it sounds like this.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, enough said, let's just go to the conclusion. Right, so this game actually ended up surpassing my expectations, which isn't saying much considering that my first reaction to seeing this game was something along the lines of, oh no, I'm gonna have to put so much effort into editing blank lines over the entire thing to make it so I don't have to get a strike on YouTube. But fortunately enough, the game already did that for me, so that was nice of them. Now, the game for me ranks in between Cubic Color and Shape of America. I put it above Cubic Color because whilst these games are sort of similar, if you squint hard enough I suppose, but there are a lot more mechanics in this game than there are in Cubic Color, and it's much more enjoyable as well, which is something that I wasn't expecting. But anyway, that's it, so bye.